In the heart of South Asia, two regions stand out for their intertwined histories and vibrant economies, Bangladesh and West Bengal. Although separated by a political boundary, their shared language, culture, and complex social dynamics have long made them subjects of comparison in terms of economic growth, social progress, and migration trends. In recent years, the spotlight has intensified on how these two regions measure up against each other, especially regarding their economic trajectories, the quality of life for their poorest citizens, and the real picture of migration across their shared border. To fully appreciate the present, we must start with the economic landscape as of mid-2025. Bangladesh, a nation born in 1971, has demonstrated remarkable resilience amid global headwinds. The latest figures from the World Bank project a 3.3% real GDP growth for the fiscal year 2025. This is a slight dip from the previous year's 4.2%, attributed to subdued investments, persistent inflation, and vulnerabilities in the financial sector. Yet, Bangladesh's economic engine has been kept running by robust remittance inflows and a powerful export sector, particularly in garments and textiles, which together have bolstered the country's current account balance. By contrast, West Bengal, a vital state in eastern India, has posted a stellar recovery from recent economic slowdowns. The state achieved an 8.5% GDP growth rate in 2023 to 24, according to estimates from its finance ministry. Although West Bengal's nominal GDP stands at around $210 billion, less than half of Bangladesh's $460 billion, it has demonstrated a capacity for dynamic growth, particularly in sectors like tea, leather, iron and steel, and information technology. The comparison becomes even more interesting when we turn to per capita income. Bangladesh's per capita income, as reported for FY25, has reached a new record of $2,820, surpassing its own previous figures and slightly edging out West Bengal's estimated $2,200. This is no small achievement for a country that, just a few decades ago, was synonymous with extreme poverty and devastating famines. The economic transformation in Bangladesh has been driven by a combination of export-led growth, expanding microfinance, and an increasing role for women in the workforce, particularly in the garment industry. Exports are another arena where differences sharpen. Bangladesh, with export earnings of $55 to $60 billion in 2023, driven largely by ready-made garments, has carved out a powerful niche in the global market. West Bengal, while diverse in its export base, including tea and IT services, lags behind with $10 to $12 billion in total exports. This export dynamism not only fuels Bangladesh's economy, but also provides millions of jobs, especially for women, and contributes to upward social mobility. But economic growth alone does not paint the full picture. Social indicators provide a window into how the benefits of that growth are distributed among the population. In terms of poverty rates, Bangladesh has made notable strides. The World Bank estimates the country's poverty rate at 18.7% for 2022 to 23, which is, somewhat surprisingly, lower than West Bengal's 19.4% for the same period. This is particularly significant given India's larger overall economy and more established social infrastructure. When we look at human development, both Bangladesh and West Bengal fall into the medium category on the Human Development Index, but with Bangladesh slightly ahead, 0.66 woman versus West Bengal's 0.641, as per the latest available data. Life expectancy in Bangladesh now stands at 72.4 years, marginally higher than West Bengal's 71.8 years. Literacy rates are broadly comparable, with Bangladesh at approximately 76.8% and West Bengal at 77.9%. These figures reflect decades of investment in education, health, and social welfare on both sides of the border. Health outcomes, particularly for the most vulnerable, tell a story of steady improvement. Both regions have driven down infant mortality rates. Bangladesh now reports 22.6 deaths per 1,000 live births, while West Bengal stands at 23.7. Maternal mortality rates, too, have fallen, though Bangladesh still faces challenges, especially in rural healthcare access, with a maternal mortality rate of 123 per 100,000, compared to West Bengal's estimated 1. The experience of poverty, however, is about more than just statistics. Bangladesh's poor, especially in rural areas, have benefited from a unique set of social policies and grassroots innovations. Microfinance institutions like Grameen Bank and BRAC have empowered millions, providing capital and entrepreneurship opportunities to those previously excluded from formal financial systems. Social safety nets, such as conditional cash transfers, food for work programs, and targeted rural employment schemes, have played a critical role in cushioning the poorest from economic shocks. One of the most transformative forces has been the participation of women in the labor market. The garment sector, in particular, has been a lifeline for millions of Bangladeshi women, allowing them not only to contribute to household incomes, but also to achieve a degree of social autonomy unprecedented in the country's history. This has contributed to a more resilient rural economy, where small landholdings, self-employment, and diversified livelihoods offer a buffer against extreme deprivation. By contrast, the urban poor in India, including those in West Bengal, often face daunting challenges in the form of overcrowded slums, inadequate sanitation, and limited access to basic services. While West Bengal has made progress in reducing poverty and improving living standards, the conditions of the urban poor in cities like Kolkata can be more severe than the more dispersed, subsistence-based poverty seen in rural Bangladesh. Migration between Bangladesh and West Bengal has long been a subject of political debate and public concern, with claims and counterclaims about the scale and nature of cross-border movements. In recent years, however, the reality of migration has shifted. Enhanced border security, fencing, and biometric checks have significantly curbed unauthorized crossings since the early 2010s. While the perception of large-scale Bangladeshi migration into West Bengal persists in some quarters, data suggests that the actual flows are now minimal. Recent developments further underscore this trend. In August 2024, following political changes in Bangladesh, 314 Bangladeshi nationals returned home from West Bengal, taking advantage of newly arranged flights and buses. Earlier, in July 2024, over 1,400 Bangladeshi students crossed into West Bengal, a movement prompted by unrest in Bangladesh and the suspension of train services rather than economic desperation. These incidents highlight that contemporary migration is often driven by specific events, political, educational, or familial, rather than a generalized search for better economic prospects. Border security remains a significant operational concern. In 2024 alone, the Border Security Force, BSF, reported having pushed back over 5,000 illegal Bangladeshi entrants, with 2,688 cases in West Bengal. This suggests that while large-scale permanent migration has declined, attempts at unauthorized crossings still occur, often in response to local crises or temporary disruptions, rather than as part of a sustained economic exodus. Political figures, such as Mahua Moitra, have argued that substantial migration from Bangladesh into West Bengal is a phenomenon of the past, with current flows being negligible. Recent border data and migration studies largely support this view. Net migration from Bangladesh has dropped sharply since the early 2000s. Most urban migrants in West Bengal now come from other Indian states such as Bihar, Jharkhand, and Odisha, not from Bangladesh. In summary, the story of Bangladesh and West Bengal in 2005 is one of both convergence and divergence. Bangladesh's economy is larger and its per capita income higher. Driven by export dynamism and robust remittance flows, social indicators show that both regions have made significant progress, with Bangladesh edging ahead in some crucial areas such as poverty reduction and life expectancy. The lived experience of poverty in Bangladesh, especially for rural women, may indeed offer greater opportunities for upward mobility than for the urban poor in India's cities. As for migration, the tide has turned. The era of large-scale, poverty-driven migration from Bangladesh to West Bengal appears to be over, replaced by more episodic movements shaped by political events, educational opportunities, and family reunification. Border security challenges persist, but the data paints a picture of declining migration pressures, lending credence to the view that contemporary concerns are more political than demographic. Both Bangladesh and West Bengal stand as testaments to the power of targeted policy, grassroots innovation, and human resilience. Their journeys offer valuable lessons, not just for each other, but for developing regions everywhere striving to balance growth, equity, and social progress in an ever-changing world.